I make notes on paper.
I make notes on gadgets.
I read printed books.
I read books online.
I use paper cups for taking tea.
I use my own coffee mug for taking tea.
Namaskar. I am Navneet Chauhan, General Manager, Investor Education and Protection Fund Authority, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Today I will be taking a lecture on Investor Education Protection Fund Authority, its roles and responsibilities. The topics that we will be covering through the lecture would be roles and responsibilities of the IEPF authority, then what are the relevant provisions of the Companies Act 2013, education and awareness initiatives that the authority has taken, and if time permits, I will speak about the Ponzi schemes as well. Friends, Investor Education and Protection Fund Authority has been set up under the provisions of Companies Act 2013 with the objective of promoting investor education, awareness and protection, as well as to make refund of claims that have been filed with the authority by the investors. So it can be seen that in the name itself, Investor Education and Protection Fund, it speaks about a fund. So what is the source of this fund? So what happens is that whenever an investor makes some investment in a company, in the shares or in the company deposits or debentures, and if it so happens that due to any reason the person is not in a position to claim back the dividends or the deposits, So in such circumstances, after a period of 7 years, such amounts are transferred to IEPF. So that makes the fund. With the implementation of Companies Act 2013, a provision was also made that if a dividend remains unclaimed or unpaid and if it is transferred to IEPF, the related shares shall also be transferred to the IEPF authority. So what is the role of IEPF authority? Basically, the authority has been constituted for administration of the fund under the provisions of Section 125 of Companies Act 2013. The authority became functional in September 2016 and it's located at New Delhi. The functions of the authority largely includes refund of shares, unclaimed dividends, mature deposits, debentures, etc., whatever has been transferred to IEPF, as well as for promotion of investors' education, awareness and protection measures to enable informed decisions by the investors. The relevant sections of the Companies Act are 124 and 125. Section 124 of the Companies Act deals with the unpaid dividend account of the company, and Section 125 deals about the constitution of the authority and the amounts that are being transferred, that are to be transferred to the fund. The relevant rules are Investor Education and Protection Fund Authority, Accounting, Audit, Transfer and Refund Rules 2016, which have been amended from time to time. So the key provision of Section 124 is that once the dividend is declared by a company, if it is not paid within a period of 30 days and if it remains unpaid or unclaimed, after that period, the dividend amount or the deposit is to be transferred to the unpaid dividend account that has been opened by the company for the purpose. It remains in that unpaid dividend account for a period of 7 years. During this period, the investor can claim the refund from the company itself. After the expiry of the period of 7 years, the amount is required to be transferred to the Investor Education and Protection Fund. So that's how the fund is created. These provisions are available in the Companies Act 2013. So the amounts which are deposited to the IEPF are the which have remained unpaid or unclaimed for a period of 7 years are mature deposits, debentures, application money due for refund or interest thereon, sale proceeds of fractional shares, redemption proceeds of preference shares, etc. All these amounts are required to be transferred to the IEPF. The authority has opened two demat accounts for facilitating the transfer of shares of investors to the Investor Education Protection Fund Authority. One account is with National Securities Depository Limited (NSDL) and the other is through the Central Depository Services Limited (CDSL). This is a glimpse of the shares and amounts that have been transferred to IEPF since its inception. During the financial year 2019-20, about 1800 crore rupees have been transferred to the IEPF. And this makes the total size of the fund at the end of the financial year to about 4,300 crores. During the current financial year, it's also around 350 crores have been transferred to IEPF, taking the total size of the fund to around 4,700 crores. Apart from this, more than 2,000 companies have transferred about 91 crore shares to IEPF, which has a market value of 32,000 crore rupees. What are the filings that are required by the companies to the IEPF? So the filings are to be made on a totally online platform. For this, the ministry has notified different forms through which the filing is to be made. The first form is IPF Form 1, IPF 1 form. So this is a statement of amounts which are required to be credited to Investor Education Protection Fund after transfer of amount to IEPF. So this statement is filed by the company in online mode on the MCA 21 system. Similarly, there is a form IEPF 4, which is a statement of shares which have been transferred by the company to IEPF. So IEPF 1 speaks about the transfer of amounts transferred to IEPF which have been transferred to IEPF, and IEPF 4 speaks about the statement of shares which have been transferred to IEPF. There is a form IEPF 2, which is a statement of unclaimed and unpaid amounts which may become due for transfer to IEPF after 7 years. Initially, I had spoken that the amount is required to be transferred from the unpaid dividend account after a period of 7 years. So during this 7 years period, the year-wise details the company is required to file with the authority in the MCA 21 system through this form IPF 2. The form is also used for updation of nodal officer details. So we'll speak about the nodal officer and requirement. What are the requirements of the nodal officer? Then there is a form IPF 5. So suppose if any investor wants to make a application for refund to IEPF, the application is made through the online form IPF 5 for claiming the unpaid amounts and shares that have been transferred to the authority. So this is a totally online form with PAN verification. Once the claimant enters his PAN details, the form is getting automatically verified from the database of Income Tax Department. Claimant can, since it's an online form, claimant can view the status of his application. So the form requires only very basic information like the name of the claimant, name of the company, demat account details in which the shares are required to be transferred, bank details. So this is the basic information that is required to be filed by the claimant. Then there is a form IPF 7. This is a statement of amounts which are required to be credited to IEPF on account of transfer of shares to the authority. Since it happens that IPF में क्योंकि शेयर ट्रांसफ़र हो चुके हैं तो कभी इन बिटवीन पीरियड में डिविडेंड कंपनी डिक्लेयर करती है तो दैट डिविडेंड इज ऑल्सो रिक्वायर्ड टू बी ट्रांसफर्ड टू IEPF. For this, the form IPF 7 is used. Then there are other forms like form IPF 1A also. So the claim procedure with the authority is very simple. Claimant is required to register himself or herself on the website of the authority, www.iepf.gov.in. Once he or she registers on the website, the investor is required to fill the form IPF 5. Only the scanned copy of the documents which are enlisted in the instruction kit and in the form are required to be attached with the form, and the physical copies are required to be sent to the nodal officer. Remember, we spoke about the appointment of nodal officer in form IPF 2. For filing of this form, the authority does not charge any fee. It's a totally free form. Once the form is submitted by the claimant, it gets automatically transferred to the nodal officer of the company. It moves in the system. The nodal officer of the company is required to verify the form and send only the e-verification report, an electronic verification report to the authority. No paper document is required to be submitted by the nodal officer to the authority, and all the original documents that have been submitted by the claimant are kept with the company and its nodal officer. The company is mandated to file the e-verification report within a period of 30 days. After the receipt of e-verification report, the authority processes the claim. For this, we also have our own standard operating procedure which we follow. It's a very simple procedure. The requirement is very simple. Here I would like to emphasize that the authority has not appointed any agents for the purpose, and the process itself is very simple. The form is simple, information asked is simple, and processing all the details are available online. So I would like to just show the online process has been adopted from August 2019. Before that, we were following a physical process in which the verification report and all the documents were received by the authority in paper form. But from August 2019, the process has been migrated to an online system, which I have explained briefly. The standard operating procedure that I was talking about, for this the authority largely relies on the verification report submitted by the company for KYC documents like PAN card, Aadhaar card, passport, and all these things are being relied upon. For establishing entitlement, the documents submitted like the share certificates or bond certificates, these are being relied upon. Then for establishment of legal heirship, the procedure is very clear and simple, where you require a succession certificate, where you not require a succession certificate. About this my colleague will speak in the subsequent lecture. Then after verification of the claim, we make refund of the shares and the amount in the demat account of the claimant for the shares and for amount in the bank account. It's a total electronic transfer. No physical paper-based system is involved here. It's a brief statistics of the applications that have been received in the authority since its inception in 2016. We have received around 50,000 applications for refund, and in about 39,000 cases we have received the verification reports from the companies. The process has become faster after the implementation of the electronic verification report system, and we have settled about 25,000 such claims, which has a value of about 600 crore rupees, and we have made a refund of more than 90 lakh shares to the claimant, genuine claimants. These are the digital creatives which we provide on our website to assist the claimants. So it only speaks about the process that I have already described. The claimant is again required to register himself or herself on the website, then fill the form, take the copies, scan documents, send it to the company. It moves automatically. Also, once the form is submitted, it moves automatically to the company nodal officer. What is the responsibility of the nodal officer of the company? The company nodal officer certifies the claim or rejects the claim within a period of 30 days. They are mandated to do so in the rules. No fee is charged. We provide a option for resubmission also. If some claimant has made some mistake in the filling the form, suppose he fills his demat account number wrongly or the IFSC code of the bank account, something is wrong, then we provide a resubmission option for correction. This is the glimpse of print advertisement that we release from time to time in the newspapers. This largely explains the same process. Then we also issue public announcements from time to time in newspapers as well as on our website and through social media, and listing the requirements, the process. Now the second function, major function, we spoke initially about two functions of the authority. The first function is regarding making refund to the genuine investors who have filled the form IEPF 5 and made a request to the authority, made an application. Now the second major function is role of IEPFA in promotion of investor education, awareness and protection. So what are the investor awareness initiatives that the authority has taken? Friends, we have seen that in the statistics part I had shown that the authority around 4,600 crore rupees have been transferred to the IEPF, Investor Education Protection Fund. But we have made refund of about 15 crore rupees of the unpaid amounts and dividends. So there are not many applications that are being received. However, the Companies Act itself provides that how the fund is to be utilized. So the second function comes here into play. That is role of Investor Education and Protection Fund Authority in promotion of investors' education, awareness and protection. The authority has adopted a very proactive approach in promoting its mandate, the second mandate. For this, for dissemination of investor education and awareness related messages, we issue print and electronic advertisements. We run radio jingles on radio. We run videos, short videos, which are which have been created for the purpose of awareness. Then we run scrolls on television. Apart from this electronic media, we also carry out investor awareness programs. We organize such programs in the rural and urban parts of the country. It's a direct program in which the investors or the common citizens can attend such program and gain knowledge about investments, do's and don'ts, how to invest, why to make a budget, what is the importance of, we also cover very basic topics. Then we have also collaborated with various organizations for spreading investor awareness and engaging with the stakeholders by using co-branded collaterals. We also run media campaigns through bulk SMS means by sending bulk SMS, or we also run campaigns through social media and other digital platforms. So in this field, since the authority has its headquarters in New Delhi, but we carry out programs across the country. So what we have done is that we have entered into memorandum of understandings with different organizations which are having pan-India reach. So first such MOU that we have done is with Common Service Center E-Governance Services Limited. So they have more than 2 lakh common service centers located across the country, and through them in the rural parts of the country we conduct investor awareness programs. Then we also have an arrangement with the professional institutes, that is the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, Institute of Company Secretaries of India, Institute of Cost Accountants of India, who conducts these investor awareness programs largely in the urban areas. Then we also have an arrangement, an MOU with Nehru Yuva Kendra Sangathan, through which we plan to organize programs across the country, and by involving the youth and the youth volunteers. Then we also have a collaboration with India Post Payment Banks, through which we plan to organize more than 4,000 financial literacy programs across the country. We also have MOUs with banks, like Bank of Baroda, Kotak Mahindra Bank, ICICI Bank. Through these banks, the co-branded digital collaterals are being displayed in the banks for creating awareness. We also organize programs for pensioners or the people who are going to retire shortly, since at the time of retirement huge sums are being received by the employees. So we have an arrangement with Department of Telecommunications, and as a part of this series only, we have started this tele-lecturing series on investor education and awareness on the channel. This is the slide briefly explains the methodology that is being followed while organizing the investor awareness programs through the common service centers in the rural areas. We start with a educational movie, Bachat Nama. It's a very movie involving characters from the rural parts of the country, and through this movie we explain the importance of budgeting, why to open a bank account, simple topics. Through this movie we try to cover. We also distribute multilingual booklets. These programs, since being organized across the country, so the programs are conducted in regional languages. So we distribute booklets that have been specially produced for these programs. We have organized more than 50,000 such programs, out of which CSC e-governance had organized about 35,000 such programs during the financial years 18-19 and 19-20. We also plan to organize another 15,000 such programs during the current year. So the topics that are being covered during the programs, investor awareness programs through Common Service Center are very simple: saving through budget, what is the importance of opening a bank account. We also create awareness about various government schemes, capital markets, what are the do's and don'ts of investing, and also about Ponzi schemes. This is a glimpse of the booklets, Handbook for Rural Investors, that have been published by the authority in association with Common Service Centers. So it's a multilingual booklet. This is the front page of that. It's a brief statistics of the programs that we have organized during each of the financial years, and through various organizations like Common Service Center, NYKS, IPPB, we have organized more than 50,000 such programs, and through the professional institutes. During the COVID period, since the physical this thing was not
only 2 minutes.
Okay. Only webinars were also organized during the COVID period. This is the glimpse of bulk SMS campaign that we have carried out. We have also organized state level investor education awareness conferences at Dharamshala and Bhubaneswar, which involved wide participation from sarpanchs, youth volunteers, students, professionals, and common citizens. We also have established research chairs at Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs and National Council of Applied Economic Research for carrying out research on investor related issues. We are also shortly going to launch a app and we also have a portal, www.iepfportal.in. The investor can read for the IEC materials that are available. With this, I would like to complete the presentation today. Thank you.